Hello and welcome back to Leeds United, where we're going to round off the Europa League group stage and see if we can get 8 from 8, a perfect record. Only 3 teams on 7 out of 7, we're one of them. Deadline day, deals to maybe be done, and then we'll deal with our old rivals Wolves afterwards. 2 games to get you caught up on, 6-1 away at Karabakh to make that 7 out of 7. Rotated team, we'll take that. We only sent 1,600 people to Karabakh, I'm not that surprised. But a full 37,799 at Ellen Road to see us beat Arsenal 4-1. Probably somewhat mostly helped by Tomiyasu being sent off in the 9th minute. We scored in the 12th, 44th and 45th plus 3rd before a second half strike by Makoko as well. Made it 4-1. Smith Rowe got one back at the beginning of the second half. Yes, 4-1 against Arsenal, who are the team directly behind us and were the team directly behind us then as well. We extend our gap on them to 4 points, our gap to 5th, 8 points, our gap to 1st, also 8 points, but they have a game in hand, do Liverpool, so probably expect that to be 11 points. Let's be real. QPR watch, they're still on 10 points. At the very least, they've got more wins than Derby did. Interesting that they labelled Stoke as the fewest points, not Derby, but they're currently matching that. But first, we turn our attention to the Europa League away at Utrecht. We'll sort of truncate this one a little bit, try not to talk over it too much. We will also just pay attention in the background to Derry City, who host Feyenoord. So it's not an easy game. They are on the borderlines of getting through to the knockouts. They're on 22nd place with 8 points. 24th is currently Hartberg on 7. So they are very close to slipping out. Feyenoord 10th right now. They are fighting to get into the automatic qualifiers. Dortmund and Köln are the other 7 out of 7s. The 2 German sides. Chelsea already qualified. Atalanta already qualified as well. Rangers, Brentford and Roma on the cusp. Rangers, you'd probably expect to do it from there. 15 points, 14, 13, Brentford and Roma. So it's all to play for with those teams there. And obviously anyone on 12 points could obviously sneak into that. So it's a very tense situation there for those remaining 3 spots into the automatic bye, effectively, to the second knockout round. Poor old Cluj, 2 points at the bottom. Of course, we're in a spot bother here. Probably should have brought you the main news. After a small bidding war between Newcastle and Inter Milan, in the sense that only Inter Milan then made a bid to make it 29 million, Juventus swooped in at 31, so Melee has gone for 31 million, which means because we can't change our team in January, we're down to just Galini in goal for this particular game. And with an injury to Strike, we're down to this: Galini, Undika, Cresswell, Colwell. Obviously, Verismo can't be registered either. Ord, Szoboszlai, Almada. Do we bother with Szoboszlai here? I think we'll let Tyler Adams take the lead on this one. Livramento at right back. That probably ought to be Christensen. And then didn't change the front line. Milovanovic has taken a slight knock as well recently, so it will have to be Bamford's fine. Bamford, Pedro, and Nketiah up front. A couple of the youngsters get spaces on the bench due to those losses of registered players. Sonny Perkins might make an appearance for the first time, which is an historic moment for us here on the channel. Nice to see maybe Perkins, extra legend Sonny Perkins, actually make an appearance. It's not a great start for Derry. I do presume that knockout games are not dictated by your place within the top 8. I think it is still a random draw at that point. So finishing first versus finishing third, I don't think is going to make any difference. But Adams, Undika, we'll talk over this first highlight that we're seeing. Undika, if it goes in, then we'll just pretty much just let you know when they've scored. Undika went wild there. Dangerous from Nketiah, stopping, giving it away. Never mind. Adams has nabbed the ball in a dangerous spot and hoofed it over. It's a good job Cluj were already dead and buried, because 3-0 down already at Dortmund. That's an unfair last game for them. Making dangerous moves up the pitch. Christensen into the 18-yard box. Pedro, 1-0. There we go. Half an hour gone, actually. Decent amount of this game already passed. Yeah, a little bit limited in my options up front and in defence right now due to a couple of injuries. So we are having to play Pedro in this, but he scored to make it 1-0 and keeping our perfect record. Conan, Dortmund, as you saw already winning as well. So 3 teams may enter this. Three teams may end this with 8 out of 8. Chelsea looking to be on 22 points, just the 1 draw. And Atalanta just the 1 loss to us. Oh, they've equalised. It's the Dutch Pokemon Gengar. I forget that Utrecht do have a couple of reasonable people. Heading to Vest there and Tommy San Diego, who I remember having a decent card in FIFA at once upon a time. But yeah, there's Gengar. Or Gengar. I'm not pleased with this performance. Like I say, result largely irrelevant. Although Ndeka goes close. Nketiah. How has that not gone in? It's a corner though. Brentford, as things stand, slip out of the guaranteed top 8 bypass places. Ndeka with a lovely challenge, goes straight to them. But we've got the ball back and springing the counter-attack, are we? Adams finds Bamford. Weirdly across to Christensen. Nketiah. Back to Christensen, maybe. Indeed it is. Armada on the edge of the box. That's a great goal. Drilled it under the goalkeeper. Lovely finish. Lovely, and we see it from the reverse angle. Nketiah with an inch-perfect pass to Christensen, who finds Armada, takes one touch, pulls it away from the defender who tries to step into him, drills it under the goalkeeper. Fantastic all round, really. It's 3 out of nowhere. I'll be honest, didn't see this one coming. It's a free kick, so it's immediately dangerous, of course, but Ndicka kind of heads it across, and they sort of clear it, and it, of all people, weirdly, it's Nketiah out-jumps someone there to head it into an open goal. Caught me off guard. Feyenoord are currently sneaking into the top 8. I suspect their lead over Derry has increased, unfortunately. Either that or people in the top 8 have decided to be rubbish. Armada, Colwell. Oh, 8 minutes on the clock, probably ought to have made subs. Well, we've got a late penalty and I made substitutions at the same time. I think it's a little too late to get Perkins on this. I was really tempted. Szoboszlai buries it for 4-1. I brought Topless on at wing left back because I think that's the best place I can actually train him at the moment. You may remember Topless as being one of those 2 wonder kids from the first intake. Our intake this year is woeful, as you may recall, but Brentford actually slipped to 12th, which is insane. Utrecht don't shift from 17th, weirdly, but Brentford Roma also slip out. Midtjylland and Shakhtar drop down the positions. Sevilla, Feyenoord, Sporting, Young Boys and Copenhagen. You've really got a feel for these 3 that ended up on 15 points, winning their final game and not sneaking in there. But yeah, Sevilla and Feyenoord sneaking in. Feyenoord won 3-0 in the end. Ugh. Which means Derry finished 26th. Oh, Derry. Bodo Glimt sneak in. As do Lask, I think, along with Basel. Pittance change for things. Okay, so I don't know how much I'm going to get to develop this guy, but 4, maybe 5-star central defender from Hajduk Split, Hajduk Split, depending how you pronounce the J, from Split. 4.6 million release fee, which is a reasonable amount for a team like Split. So I feel like there's a decent amount in him. 2-star central defender as things stand at 18. His birthday is in a couple of weeks, so I don't know if I'll ever get 3 years on him. But if I get 3 years on him, he would be homegrown club if I play that long. So we'll see. But 4.6 million is the only deal I'm going to do, I think, unless I sell anyone else, just because I want to have a bit of buffer. We've got 87 million budget, and yet I can't spend it just because of the finances of the overall club. Well, I said I wasn't going to do anything, but I'm going to take a punt on this lad. Zepi Queno, great name, Redmond. He's got reasonable physicals. The rest of him is kind of lacking, if I'm completely honest. But 4, maybe 5-star potential, and it's a good value for a Feyenoord 18-year-old. If he doesn't develop, he doesn't develop. I've only committed to 8 million, basically. The rest of it's in add-ons. 4 million now. So Tyler was actually the most expensive deal in that window. Okay. Oh, our goal you saw against Brighton, 3rd. So we are currently without both Szoboszlai and Aouar for this particular match. I don't need Galini in goal. I've just spotted that. There we go. Karnasheki in goal. Ndicka strike Verissimo. Skov, Adams, Almada, Livramento, Makoko, Pedro and Gomez. Milovanovic back for this one for the bench, at least. Our in-series rivals, you can't see it fully there, but it's 4-3-2-1 for them. Balogun up front, Nunes, Andre, Rodriguez as a midfield trio, Nathan Collins and Lenglet as centre-backs with Dan Burn at left-back. Their defence has gone crazy. One existing Wolves player in the form of Semedo at right-back, and then the other 3, I don't know. I don't know how that's happened or why that's happened, but it has. Guedes on the edge of the box, I hate how well this has worked. I also hate how heavy that touch was and nobody reacted to it. But of course, Wolves are in-series nemesis. I wonder if it's actually been... I wonder if they're now listed as a rival, because they are to me personally, it feels like. Both them and Brentford have been continual thorns in my side over the course of this series. Brentford currently losing to Norwich. They're actually doing all right. They're sort of solidly mid-table. Lenglet, Burn. Lenglet at Wolves just feels weird. Burn at Wolves feels weird. Andre, intercepted by Armada. Lovely work from him there. Ndicka, Adams... Hoofed at Nathan Collins. What is going on? What is going on? Actually, has Nathan Collins moved there in real life? I can't remember. Is he one of those people whose photo still shows their old club and I've just not remembered an actual chance for real life-wise? Balogun. I feel like he did move. Balogun. Good save by Karnasheki. I will interchange between Karnasheki and Karnasheki just because I haven't landed on the right answer yet. I think it is a ch sound when it's double. Skov chases. Skov gets. Skov gives away. The good news is, at the very least, Karnashechi's match sharpness has now been brought up to a reasonable level along with Verissimo's. So they are now pretty much up to speed after not really playing all that much of their original clubs. Semedo, intercepted, Pedro. Yeah, and don't worry, I did have a nosy at Antonio Silva at Benfica. I was tempted, but his price range is 40+ million. So Burn, unsurprisingly, close to scoring there from a corner. It would have been a case of spending 20 now, 20 over time if I had gone for it. But yeah, I just want to keep our finances in the positive, despite the insane transfer budget that we sit on right now. I want the actual money in our actual accounts to be in the positive. I don't want us to be running a negative the entire time. That's an alarmingly easy goal. They're appealing for offside. I very much doubt he was. Oh, he was. That's the first time I thought someone was onside, but wasn't. Oh, he was miles off. That is so weird. I think it's just his defender backed into the line just as the ball was played, and then I mistook that. But we are actually being sort of outplayed here. I do hate the fact it always asks my right centre-back to mark their singular striker. Like, no, the central centre-back, as Gomez has a decent shot there. I think that's the first one on target. Leeds United are enjoying themselves, says the text. I don't think we are. I am very much nervous. Adams, Almada, the AA midfield, charging forward now, with Almada on the right-hand side, forward to Gomez. Gomez sort of boxed in here, back out to Livramento. Almada to put the ball in. Mokoko's there. Mokoko's there. That's it. Cross it to the shortest player we've got, probably. Apart from Almada himself, actually. I would probably estimate. Unbelievably, we've scored. They just sort of leave Mokoko alone a little bit at that back post. He does go with him, but he doesn't really challenge him. So he's effectively just been left alone there. 1-0. We're up against our rivals. As fun as beating Spurs and Arsenal this season has been, this is kind of the one I want to assert dominance in, just because of how much we struggled against them specifically, kind of strangely, over the last few years. I mean, don't get me wrong, they got Champions League football as of the end of last year because of 5 Champions League spots. I still haven't looked up what the rules are for those bonus Champions League spots. Because I think there's one that goes to the league. I think there's one that goes to a league and then one that goes to a club with like historic value. The next best club in the coefficient list that didn't get it naturally. Pedro is in and scored. Wow, that was close. I think that's the rules. I think it's 34 are gifted out to the divisions now. And then there's one to a league for a reason. And then one to a club that hasn't qualified, but has the coefficient, like the next best coefficient of the club that hasn't qualified. So say Chelsea didn't get Champions League football, they would if no one else higher up in the coefficients hadn't also got Champions League football. I think that's the reasoning, because I don't really know how Wolves has ended up with it as there's a momentary glitch in the matrix that concerned me. Norwich conceded an equaliser, but back ahead thanks to Adam Ida, Verissimo. I don't know why I'm focusing on the Norwich match, to be honest. Lenglet. Semedo now, who was a bit of a thorn on my side in the other save as well, with the Exeter team. Semedo specifically was annoying in that one, as Balogun gets his goal again, this time onside, without a doubt, clearly. But Semedo with the assist. Yeah, Semedo weirdly always scored against Exeter when I was Exeter manager in the previous save. I don't know why. He would always score, and he was pretty much always a banger. Like, of all people to be like a consistent goal scorer against you, Semedo. They are looking a little bit tired though. Semedo's knackered, Neto's completely knackered. That left-hand side, as we look at it, although Traore's just come on. Amara himself is knackered on our side. That is Santos's spot. Tyler Adams is booked, so Gagliardini comes on. Scott's not having a good one. Ordon. Gomez isn't having a good one, so Nekatir on. Nekatir 3.5 stars, by the way, in our squad, as it has another momentary glitch in the matrix that actually opens Julian Ord's page for some reason. I don't know what's going on, and I'm marginally concerned I'm not going to get through this match without it crashing. Semedo. Speaking of Semedo bangers, that was close. Easily caught though, thankfully. We have very much weakened that midfield, unfortunately, with Santos and Gagliardini, but Verissimo back to Carnesecchi, Ndika, Strike, Santos. Almost gives it away. Livramento safely to Nekatir, though, who takes a fairly heavy first touch, but not punished. Back to Livramento, getting to the byline. Livramento, what are you doing, buddy? That was the highlight. It is a goal kick. Must have rebounded back off Livramento. Semedo, intercepted, tackled by Ord, who's probably going to have to go alone there. Forces a save by Sard. That was acrobatic. Blimey. Mokoko to put the ball in. And Dick is there. Over. Still only 2-1. Let's not forget, this isn't sealed or anything. 70 minutes on the clock. I don't know whether to praise Mokoko to put this ball in. I'm not sure why. I suppose he might actually be the best corner taker at this point. All my usual corner takers are off this pitch. Not the end of that highlight, though, as that's hoofed forward. Strike gets under it. Only as far as Andre. Guedes puts Balogun through once more, because they apparently can, travel at 10 mile an hour faster than any other player on my pitch. One final substitution to make, and Dicker tired and booked. Cresswell on, moved into the middle, Strike goes out left. I hate taking Undicker off, but that's probably the play to make. 10 minutes on the clock, I was about to make a shout, but we'll wait for this highlight to resolve itself. Cresswell, Santos, Gagliardini. Nice first touch football there. Livramento to Nekatir. Saw that one coming. Nekatir, probably back to Livramento. No, into the box goes Eddie. Probably shouldn't have kicked it straight at Jose Sa and probably should have kicked it far post there, but never mind. Another highlight, can't shout at them just yet. Verissimo, because if they equalise, it's encourage. If we score, it's praise. Gagliardini, sort of intercepted, but we've got away with it. Ord, still Ord. Finally caught up to by Adama Traore. Hoofed to Verissimo. I really thought there was a madness about to happen there. Strike. Santos, closed in. Verissimo. Livermento's in a bit of space if you can get it to him. Now, Nakatir doesn't really have much of the world, although that's an insane ball to Pedro, and that should have been a goal. Makoko hits the post from there, remarkably. I think we still praise this late in the day at 2-1. We've just shot up in the XG recently. Ord, as I'm told to close the gap between our forwards and midfield once again. DRSI, fix that. Ord, take your time. Well, he is taking his time. Makoko plays it nicely to Ord there. Back to Gagliardini. Is it a rare Gagliardini goal? No, he's in the post. He did score in the 6-1 demolition of Karabakh, but that was expected because he started it. And we sneak out 2-1 in the end with a much better 15 shots on target to 4. But it's another crucial 3 points as we stay 4 points ahead of Arsenal. Liverpool still with a game in hand, although they have dropped points. Surely not. 13 unbeaten in the league since the beginning of December. Oof, 3 draws in that. The rest wins. That's quite remarkable, actually, thinking about it. I mean, Europa League pops in here. There's a Man United game in the middle of it. So Man United and the second leg of whatever Europa League draw we get, I think is probably the sensible thing to do next time out. Well, if you enjoyed this, if you enjoyed our solve, I just realised we've conceded 1 goal in the last 5 games, all of them. Since the beginning of January, we've played, 9 games, and we've conceded 1 goal in 8 of them. 1 clean sheet that entire time, and it was to Burnley in the second tier Burnley. Not great, but we did obviously have a bit of a goalkeeper conundrum during that period, so hopefully Karnasecchi's up to speed now, and we're all solved, along with Verissimo, of course. If you enjoyed this episode, then do give it a like, comment, subscribe. You know the deal by now. I should just say at this point, by the way, as well, the situation outside of content creation is going to continue into the early part of next week, so don't expect Monday, Wednesday, Friday next week either. It is very likely to be another Tuesday, Friday situation. As soon as I can get back onto Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I will be. Until next time, ta-ra.